Alright guys, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to create a multi-layer stencil in Photoshop, and that will eventually cut out and spray on canvas, stickers, walls, whatever you want to spray it on. So first you're going to want to get a picture of somebody. I'll just use Marilyn Monroe. Of course I spell it wrong. Spell it wrong again. Google's there for, right? Alright. Let's use this one. You guys don't have to use a picture of her. You can use whoever you want. These come out the best with faces. They look pretty cool, but you can also do other things. So let's post. What you're gonna want to do is paste it into a Photoshop file. The canvas size I have here is 8.5 by 11 inches, standard sheet of printer paper, and that's because that's what we're going to be printing out on. You want to see how it's going to fit on there. So let's just paste this in. Psych. There we go. Resize it to how big you're gonna want it to spray out. So keep that in mind on how big you want your stencil to be in the end. Let's just do about. There we go. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove all this background. You can use the eraser, you can pen tool it. It really doesn't matter because when you're cutting it out with a razor blade, it's not going to be as precise, and it's just going to be. So it doesn't really matter, however you want to get rid of it. So I'll resume the recording when I've done that. Alright, so now that you have your image all cut out, what you're going to want to do is go to Image, Adjustments, and Brightness and Contrast. And what you're going to want to do is just bring the contrast of your image up and just find a good balance. It really has like definition, because for this stencil will only be 3 layers, and you really want to be able to show definition between the features. So just kind of find a good balance between them. For this image it's not making much of a difference, but for a lot of other ones it will. So this one looks alright. So let's just use. Then what you're going to want to do is going to go to Edit. No, it's Filter, Artistic, Cutout. And then you're going to want to go to, oh, my bad. Before you do that, you're going to want to go to Image, Mode, Grayscale. And don't flatten at this time. So now that you have it in grayscale, sorry about that guys, you want to go back to Filter, Artistic, Cutout. So when you're on Cutout, we're going to leave the number of levels at 3. If you have like different shades of gray and stuff, or you're more advanced, you could try these. They don't look that much better on these settings. If you just have black, you can of course try this. You can just use this as a stencil. That looks perfectly fine. But for this one we're going to use 3. And you could just mess around with edge simplicity and see how that works out for you. Same with this. Doesn't make much of a difference, but you can just mess around with those till you find a setting you like. And then you can click OK. Then what you're going to want to do is save this. Save as, just like, let's save it as Monroe stencil as a PSD, and let's save that to our desktop. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to close this, and then just open it. Monroe stencil. There we go. And you're going to want to save that. You're going to want to just take the magic wand tool, select the background. And you're going to want to go to Select, inverse and do Control F5. Excuse me, Shift F5. And that will bring up this fill menu. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to change contents to black and hit OK. Now you can ignore these little things on the side because those are just what I missed to erase when I was erasing. But basically this is the black layer of your stencil. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go File, Save As, Monroe Stencil, let's save it as black. .jpg. Save it as a JPEG, PNG, whatever. Now what you're going to want to do is just go back to this. You could just open it and do it again, or you could just undo. Doesn't really matter. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make your gray layer. So what you're going to want to do is want to select the white, right click, similar, and then you want to do Shift, F5, and 50% gray. Oh, my bad. I did not, for some reason, did not select similar. There we go. Shift, F5, 50% gray. Alright, there we go. Now you want to just select that, and basically what we're going to cut out on here is obviously the black part, excuse me, the gray part. So to avoid confusion, just select the black, right click, excuse me, not that, right click, similar, Shift, F5, and white. So that'll get you your gray stencil. This is what you're going to cut out. You're going to cut out the gray. All of our other stencils are going to be black. This one will just be gray because if you print everything out in gray instead of the black, it saves ink. It's just a little tip. Alright, so then you want to File, Save As, Monroe Stencil, Gray. Alright, now we're going to go back to where we got our white. And you want to make sure that you're leaving the stencil in the same position on the paper. It's not a huge deal, but it helps when lining it up. Definitely going to want to leave everything the same size, obviously, because it's all going to be on one stencil. Next, finally, we're going to do our white layer. So what you're going to do is... Alright, so now what you're going to want to do is select the white background. You're going to want to go Shift F5, fill that with gray. Then you're going to want to select the black, select, similar, Shift F5, fill with gray. And then as you can see, you have your white part which you're going to cut out. Now what we can do, just to keep everything the same, we can go select, similar, Shift F5, black, select, similar, Shift F5, white. So there we go. So you're just cutting out the black again. You can change this to gray if you want. Doesn't really matter. Whatever works for you. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to save this, print it out, and then I'm going to teach you guys them out easiest and how to spray them in the next part of this tutorial.